Hello everyone, and welcome to Polly's Pretty. This is Thursday, October 19th, and I thought we'd do a little bit of a tutorial tonight. So I've got roses here, I've got a little dress over here underneath my stack of papers, and I'm going to show you how I go about this. Now this is just my way, this doesn't mean it's the right way, doesn't mean it's the wrong way, it's just my way. So, here we go. I've already put the name of this pencil. This is the Wild Lilac. I'm using craz-art pencils in case you're wondering. They're readily available usually at our local Walmart. So what I do when I'm doing a rose is I start in the center with my lightest color first. Now, we will change this as we go, but we want our rose to kind of have the same coloring. So, here's what I do. I come in and I give a very, very light shading. Okay? And all I'm doing, I'm not putting any pressure on this pencil at all yet. So we're going to come in, we're going to give all of it this really light color. This is going to be our base to help cover up some of that white. Okay. And as you see, I just work from the inside out when I'm doing the base cover. Just get all this light color down first. And you do a light shading of it. You don't want to put a bunch of pressure on your pencil, break your lid, possibly break the pencil. There's no need for all that. So we're just going to come in, we're going to do this. Just very light. And we're using the lightest pencil in the shading group that we're going to do tonight. Alright, so now we have it colored in. That's our very first run. Now we can lay this guy aside. Alright, now we're going to take our middle colored pencil, which this one is Vivid Violet. And I will write it in. Vivid Violet. And we will scroll a bit of it here so we can see the coloration. Okay. Now this is kind of a medium purple, and for it, I want to come in and I want to start about here. And I'm just going light again, I'm not going super heavy-handed. And we're just kind of coloring in, giving it a little bit of a shade. I'm not looking to have a super dark coloring of this. I just want some of it there so you can see the difference in it. So I've chosen a medium, a light, and a dark in these colors to show you how I do this. And like I said, I'm not going to put a ton of pressure. I just want it to come in kind of light. See, I don't think that's too bad at all. So just come in kind of light, going right over the lighter shade we already colored. Now, I'm going to come in just like this. And then, alright, so we're going to come in just like this. Like I said, light-handed work, nothing too heavy, nothing too crazy. Just give it a light coat so that you get this shade of purple over top of the purple you bottomed with. Now we're going to lay this side, that one aside there. We're going to take our last one, which is called Smoky Purple, and I will label it here. That way if we ever want to recreate this, we can. And then we scroll a bit of this color right here. Alright, so that's our darkest color. Now we're going to take this and go straight in to this center. Alright, and we're going to go right over top the light color. That's our base. And we are going to bring in this beautiful darker purple. And we are going to color up the center, just like so. So that is your first rose. Now you could change this up. You could add a little bit more dark if you wanted to. You could leave a little more lighter if you wanted to. But usually the darkest color I start with in the center. I mean, you could go opposite too. You could go light out to dark if you wanted to. It is really up to you and what your preference is. But that is a 3-color rose. And that was just our purples. So we're going to lay these guys aside now. And we'll go with a different color and I'll show you how that looks. All right, so we have those. I'll put them over there. Thank you. All right, now we're going to try some oranges, but these are a bit off kilter to each other. So this first one we have is Orange Crush. The second one is Straight Up Orange. And then our last one is called Orange Peels. So they're definitely different shades, as you can see. And I wanted to do that on purpose. So let's go ahead and do this one, and I'll show you how it works. Okay. Here's our light color. As you can see, it is really light. It's just kind of a barely there. And that's all right. That is totally okay. So let's do our whole rose again. We're going to do our base color. Keep it light-handed. This time we're going to change it up, though. And I'll show you what I mean. And then I'll label the differences between the two. Or, well, I'll at least label the two. You'll be able to see the differences. So I'm just going over it really quickly, giving it a light coating of our lightest color. So, and I kind of think this color's pretty. I really like it. Okay, so here's our lightest color. All right, we're going to move it aside. Now we're going to bring in our medium color, which was just a straight up orange. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and label something here. This is our dark to light. All right. All right, so for this one, I want to go light to dark. So leaving that center as is, we bring our medium here the same way. We're going light-handed again. We're just lightly going over the already there color that we based everything with. We're going to bring this color in. You don't want to kill your pencil again. Like I said, light-handed. I'm going to get a little bit of that in there. Okay. Like so. Then we can move it aside and we'll get our darkest color, and this is the one that's called Orange Peels. So we'll bring it here. And we will scroll a bit of the color there. And now, since we're going from light to dark, I want to bring my darkest color down toward the bottom of the flower. And again, we're just coloring over our base color that's already there. I'm not putting a ton of pressure on this. I'm just going light and easy. I mean, you could apply pressure, I guess, if you wanted, and get a different look to your rose. I mean, you could have some really dark petals. You could have medium light petals. You know, however you particularly feel of coloring it. And especially depending on what kind of picture it's in. But here is how it's starting to look. Bringing the color in and around. And as you're seeing, it's definitely a different look to the top rose. But yes, it does change the coloring and the look of the rose. Okay. So there is now light to dark and dark to light. Okay, so we've done two different kinds here. And it was done still with the same kind of pencil setup, a light, a medium, and a dark color. So now I want to show you a little bit of something different. Okay, so we're going to take another set. We're going to do the light, medium, dark. And I think we'll go with this way for the way that I want to do it. So we'll start out with our rose petal pink. Okay, and we'll scratch it in here. That just will give us our base color before we do anything to it, in case we would change it. And again, since it was a start with light and move down, that's what we're going to do. I want to go ahead and get my base light color in, and I don't want to put pressure. I don't want it to be a heavy-handed coloring. So we're going to go very light, very light, very light here. We're going to get all this colored in. And you could do this with any set of colored pencils. You just need to make sure in the color family you're going for that they have at least 3 and that there's a light, a medium, and a dark. And like I said, I'm not trying to be heavy-handed. I'm just giving a light coat here. Then we will do some changing. So, and not everybody colors the same way. Each person, I think, over time, ends up coming up with their own technique, their own way of doing it. So I will never say a person's way of doing something like this is wrong, because as you learn, as you grow, as you color, techniques change, you know? So, and coloring is about having fun and about making it enjoyable. So that's our light color there. So we can set it aside. Now we're going to do something, oh, sorry about that, called adding black to it. So this is just your straight black pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and put adding black. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, when I add black, at least with roses, I come in, I leave that top alone because we still want it light. But what if we want our medium a little darker, you know? So I'm going to give a light coat, and I'm really not putting pressure. I'm trying to come in very light with it. Okay. So, and you'll see it's kind of scribbly looking. I'm not real worried about that either at the moment, because the more layers you add, the more it covers. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to come here, and this will still be a lighter layer because it's still the medium area. Okay, and up here. And this is still very light-handed. And over here. Here. All right, so that's where our light-handedness will end. Now, for the next bit, we want to get slightly heavier. Okay, We want this black to come out more than like the gray. We want more of the black tone. So I am putting just a slight amount of pressure. Just slight. I don't want it too dark. I want it to look more black than gray, but I don't want it to be so dark it can't be used in another way. So, and as you see, I'm not being super careful about covering every single space. I mean, if I do, I do, and if I don't, I'm not going to cry or worry about it. So, but you'll see why when we do the next steps. Okay. Okay, so we've put our black down. We're going to lay it aside now. Now we're going to come and get our medium color, which is shocking pink. And we'll scratch some of it right there so you can see what the base color is. Now everything that I was going to consider medium, I want to take the shocking pink and I want to go over. Now understand, you're not going to get that normal shocking pink color. Okay, this is going to look different because you've added the black. So don't expect to get the colors like you did on these. In this one, yes, I am adding a fair amount of pressure to get the pink to come out of that black. Okay. So I'm sure you can already see some of the difference in color, how much darker it looks by adding the black and having it as part of the underneath as well as the pink. And again, this is just to give you different looks for your roses. It's not about being the most perfect, the most concise. It is literally different looks and different ways to do it. Okay, so there's our medium color. So now you can see there's a difference. Let's move that aside. Now we're going to bring in our darkest, and this is called Berry. We're going to put it down right there. And before I start, I am going to sharpen this, so pardon the growl. Okay. Now we're going to come in where the blacker color is. And you may have to go over this a couple times to get your color to come out good, but it will still give you quite a beautiful look to your rose. So let's just come in here and lay our color down. And yes, I am applying a slight amount of pressure right now so that the color will come out a bit more. So I'm not trying to break the lead, I'm not trying to break the pencil. I'm just applying a little bit of pressure so we get that pink color out. And you can do these techniques with any 3-color family that you would like. There you are. There's the one with black added. So you have three very different looks, just with a little bit of changing up of the hand, so to speak, and how you work with it. So we'll do one more here, and I think for this one, I'm going to try to get a very dark color. So instead of basing it with one of my light colors, we're going to do black base on this one. So instead of adding black, this is going to have a black base. So we'll put black base. All right. And what I'm going to do there, instead of going in crazy heavy dark, I want to just come in and do a very light black all over the flower. So instead of having, like we did down there, where parts of it are darker, this whole rose will be a bit darker. So we'll get all this kind of in there in the corners and everything. So we want this rose to be nice and dark. So here we go. We're going to bring this black in. Get it all over there. And it can take a little bit of time when you start doing layers of color instead of just one straight color or another. Also, if you decide you want to do a green-blue rose, like if you don't have a teal, a way you could base that, depending on what you want to be your prominent color. Okay, like if you want more green, base it with blue. If you want more blue, base it maybe with a green. Okay, so there's our base black. We're going to move that guy aside again. Now, since I said I wanted this to be a particularly dark rose, I've picked brown. And I'm going to sharpen the one pencil here pretty good here. Okay, there we go. So up here, I'll scribble this in so we know that it's the black base. And I'll write it, even though I have it here, I'll write it here too. Black base. And then we're going to come in using toasted toffee. Okay, this is going to be our lightest color. So here's what it looks like without anything. Okay, and we are going to bring it in, and we're going to do kind of from a light to a dark again. So we're going to go right here. We're going to come right in. I'm putting a very little amount of pressure on my pencil right now. I just want to get this to have some of the brown color to it. I don't want to, kill the pencil or anything, just get some brown mixed in with that black. Okay, so there's our base color, our first color. Now we're going to move that one. We're going to come in with our second color, and this is just straight brown. So here's the color our brown is. I'm going to sharpen this real quick. Alrighty, here we go. Now we're bringing this in. This is our medium color. Okay. I'm not adding very much pressure to this because the darker the brown, the easier it'll come out on the black. Okay. And you can start to see how the difference in adding the black underneath darkens the rose and gives it a different look completely when you do it all over. Okay. So there's the medium color. Now we're going to come in with cappuccino. Okay. And for this, obviously, we're going to come down here. And this is going to be our darkest, deepest color. As you can see, when you start getting up around where the lighter colors are, this dark really shows up. It gives you a definite different kind of looking rose. There you are, there's the brown one. So there is 4 different roses, and they didn't take that long to do, even with layering. But it gives you 4 very different, distinct looks. So let's move from roses to a little something else now. I'll place these 2 rose pages aside, leaving my colored pencils behind, I hope. And let's pull out one of these pages. Oh, I do know something I didn't do on this page that I should have. Anytime you work with a colored pencil set, a specific set, you should obviously label it. So there we are. There's our label. And that way you can see how different pencils react and change. This will also be So there we are. Now for this one, I usually only do 2 colors, but I'm going to work with 3 tonight because I like to have the tops of the dresses be lighter, of course, than the bottom. So that's where we're going to start with these. And we will probably only get a couple of these done before it is time for us to stop for now. So what we want to do is, since you want to make your medium color here right against this area here, and then you would fade out, okay? You want to take these bone pieces and make them your medium color, okay? And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and scratch these out here. So let me put the colors of what's light and dark and medium. Okay, so Aruba will be our lightest. Okay, that's this shade. Then we have Bubbly Blue. And that's our medium. And then we have Laser Beam Blue, and that's our darkest. Okay, so you'll be able to see each color there. Now, I have already taken the bubbly blue and did the parts on the top here and on the boning here. But now I want to take the darkest blue, which is our laser beam blue, and I want to come in on the skirt, trying to follow the lines a little bit, like so. And you don't have to be totally perfect. So this is not about perfection here. All right, now I do not always do these last ones, but I am this time. But on the last ones, since they're the end of the dress, keep it inside the line, okay? And then because I like definition and a little bit of differentness, I'm going to do our bottom little trim here in the darkest blue. And yes, I'm putting a little bit of pressure to it so that it definitely comes out. All right, so there is our darkest blue. The straps are going to be the darkest blue here. Okay, so there you go. Our dark one can move aside now. Now, we're going to go up to our light color, and we're going to start at the top of our dress. I am going to sharpen this guy. All right. This is our Aruba, and we're going to come in on the top of the dress here where the bosom would be, and we are going to come in right over that medium blue, and we're going to take this lighter blue and finish filling it in. See, gives just a little touch of it there. Now we're going to come down, we're going to fill in our top, and we are not putting pressure on our pencil. We are keeping this nice and light. Again, this is my way of doing it. That doesn't mean it's right, that doesn't mean it's wrong. There you are. There's the top. So that is our light and our dark done. Now we're going to come with this medium right down here on the skirt of the dress. And we are going to bring it in. And we're not going to go heavy-handed with it either. You can add a tiny, tiny amount of pressure, but don't get crazy. Okay? And you want to keep it nice here. Just real, real nice. All right. And right like this. You don't have to be crazy with it. And what this does is it just gives you a little bit of definition to your dress so that it's not just like a flat coloring. And you just keep going until you fill in your entire dress, which we are almost there. There you are. There's your first dress. So now you see how easy that was. And of course you can color the flower, you can leave it open, and however you'd like to do that. Let's do one more together. We'll do 3 colors again. And this time I'm going to change it up and I'm going to show you. Okay, so I've got my light, medium, and dark again, but we're going to add black this time again. So we're going to put black added. Okay. Now again, I'm just going to kind of come in light with it. This time I'm doing the boning work on the top of the corset area in the black. I'm also going to come down and I'm going to do what would be the fold type area of the skirt, and I'm going to just outline it in black like this, keeping this kind of simple. And yes, I'm going to come back here and do the inside line, of course, and over here. Now up here, I'm going to do a little something different this time. I'm still going to bring the black in at the bosom there, but this time I'm also going to go up along the top edge of it and darken that a bit. Now I'm not going to touch the straps or the hem. Okay, we're getting our black out of the way now. We're going to bring in our lightest color, which is Shooting Star. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lay that in there like that. And then I'm going to bring in the medium, which is called Light Lime, and go ahead and get it right in. Then we are going to get our darkest color, which I have to sharpen, unfortunately. And this one is just green. And we're going to go ahead and bring it down here. Okay, so there you go. Now, that's our 3 colors we want to use on this dress, and I've already put some black here and there. Now, the other thing I think I'm going to do with my black, actually, since I'm sitting here looking at it, is go right here where the bodice and the skirt come together. I'm just going to put a very light coloring of this black there. There we go. Now I'm done with that. All right, now we are going to come in. We're going to take our medium, just like we did up here, and we're going to bring it on the corset here, like so. Just bringing it on the corset like so. We're still leaving that black colored pencil there. We're not changing it, moving it, or anything else like that. Okay, so this is our medium. And I think we'll do the flower in the medium here. Go ahead and do our flower this time. There's our medium. We're going to grab our light. And we're going to do the bosom, as you can see. There's the bosom. Now we're going to come down at the bottom. I am going to add a little pressure just to get this really light green to show up. All right. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the straps with the light as well. I just really like that idea. So there's that. Now we've got our darkest color. All of our top is done. We're going to come down here. We're going to go right over this black. Now we're not going to go real heavy, but we are going to go over it. We're going to come down, down, down. Being very careful not to get that hem where that light green is. We can get all the rest of the skirt, but we don't want to touch that. Okay. All right. And then you continue across the skirt in the same manner, just filling all of your area in. And if you don't like one coat, you could always do 2, 3, however many you like. One coat usually, if you work into it pretty good, is okay. Unless you're going for that specific dark look. So there is your second dress with the black added to it now. So there's very different looks, but still quite pretty on either one. So you don't have to go totally crazy and make it something that's horrible that takes, forever to do. You can do these things quite easily. You don't have to add the black. Again, like I said, you can do it with just the 3 colors up here like this. Or you can add the black and then mix it and match it like that one. It's really up to you. These were just things I thought I would bring and show you to show you ways you could do the things in your coloring books or in your coloring pages. I hope you like these tutorials that I've done tonight. I hope they give you ideas, and if you use it on something, please don't be afraid to tag me. I have a YouTube channel here, I have an Instagram, and I have a Facebook. So, and all of them I believe are linked on the front page for my YouTube. But I hope you did enjoy this. I hope you are having a wonderful Thursday wherever you are. And I hope that you will please remember that you are amazing, you are beautiful, and you are loved. If someone says different, it's false. Please pay it forward when you can. You don't know when you might need it back. Be kind until there's a reason not to be kind. Then don't be mean, just avoid the negativity. Stay safe. The world is crazy enough. Let's not add to it. Hug your loved ones. It's good for them, it's good for you, and it's medically proven. And when you've finished all that, please, tenderly, carefully, gently, hug your fur babies. They need it too. Till next time, thank you for being here, thank you for watching, and I hope to talk soon. Mwah.